Hey everyone, this is Bobby Loomis at Wingman Aviation in Tazewell, Tennessee. This video is a part 2 about the article I wrote on how clean oil filter analysis reports can be false peace of mind. If you haven't read that yet, it's on my website. Go to wingmanaviation.net, scroll over to the blog section, and it was also published in the August issue of the American Bonanza Society magazine. Thank you so much for all of your responses, your phone calls, your emails, your comments on that article. It's been great talking with everybody. Some of you even flew into the airport here to come talk to me in person about it, and that was pretty amazing. The most common response I got from that article was, why don't you just cut the filter open and inspect for metal instead of sending a sample off for oil analysis? Well, the problem with that is not everyone is inspecting the oil filter to the same standard. So this video is intended for the pilot or the owner-operator that are doing your own oil changes. Lycoming and Continental engines have both published instructions on inspecting the oil filters. For Lycoming, it's Service Bulletin 480F, and for Continental, it's in their standard practices manual, the M-0. So I'm going to show you how I cut open and inspect an oil filter and how you can go the extra step in capturing all the particles that are in the filter. Let's get started. All right, everyone. This is the filter we're going to be cutting open today. I have Lycoming Service Bulletin pulled up for inspecting the oil filter and Continental's version. Continental wants you to use 1,000 micron mesh screen to drain the oil into. So if you got a Continental, go buy you one of these 1,000 micron mesh screens. This one's from arborfab.com. Also, you need a clean oil bucket. I got a roll of paper towels, gloves and glasses, oil filter cutter. For those of you that don't have a vise in your T-hanger, I'll show you how to cut the filter open with a 1-inch socket and ratchet. Box cutter with a brand new razor blade, brush, a magnet. I use a old oil filter can with a bunch of holes drilled in it on the bottom, piece of safety wire wrapped around it, and a coffee filter. That's how we're going to capture all the particulates. Old roll of tape that I use for my stand. You need a really good flashlight. This one is a Streamlight Stinger. And 2 oil catch cans, one of them with clean mineral spirit solvent. And these are the things you're going to need to inspect your oil filter. All right, here we go. We're going to put the filter on. And like I said, if you don't have a vise in your hanger, this is what you can do. So puncture the can with the blade, put the socket on it, and just give her a spin. This filter's already been draining, but if yours is still full of oil, that's what the mesh screen is for. So I got some paper towels laid out. I start at the metal fin. All right, now that I got both sides cut, I'm going to go back to the metal fin. Stretch it open, stretch one side open, slice the paper off that metal fin. Now I'm going to pull the element out of it and I'm going to cut it into 4 different sections. See what we got. And the camera's hard to pick it up, but there's a couple little sparklies in there. Okay, now that we got all the pleats cut out, this is where most people stop. They say, oh, that looks pretty good to me. I don't see much of anything. But here's the extra step that you can go to make sure you capture all these particles. So we're going to use our clean bucket of solvent, our brush, and we're going to wash all these pleats. Okay, so we got all of our filter pleat elements washed out in there. So this is where the roll of tape and the filter with the coffee filter comes in. We're just going to filter it out. I don't worry too much about it overflowing because all the heavy particles are going to go fall right to the bottom. If you guys can see the oil pan, we already got some stuff in there. Now we're going to take a look with the flashlight and look at all that stuff that the filter caught that we didn't really see when we had the oil filter pleats opened up. So let me pull it all to the edge of the table here. Get our magnet.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Well, disaster just struck, as you saw. But check this out. There's still quite a bit of heavy particles that are still left in here that's stuck to the bottom. So look at the river of particles that we got, and we still got all that heavy contamination here. Look at all of those shiny particles. Never would have saw that just using your eyeballs to inspect the filter pleats. So that's why I use this technique to capture all the particles in the filter. Never would have saw all of that. So let's see if we can put it back to the edge of the table and run a magnet under it. All right, here's my magnet. Definitely metallic. Well, I'm going to finish pouring all of this stuff into the filter and we'll see what we get. All right. I got me a chemical resistant spray bottle with some mineral spirits. All right, we're going to let that drain and see what we get. Okay, it's almost done draining. We got quite a bunch of stuff in there that I did not see in the element with my own eyes. So we're going to come back when this is dry. All right, guys, it's all done drying. So let's take a look at our results here. So even though the whole bucket tipped over face first onto the ground, I still got this much out of it. So it's definitely a teaspoon worth of material here. And the question is, how much of it is all magnetic? And it does stick. That is
quite a bit of material.
So, are we all inspecting oil filters to the same standard? I don't think so. So this is one technique that you can do to capture all the particles that are in your filter. Going back to the article about how clean oil analysis reports can be false peace of mind, here's why. All of these little particles, I'm willing to bet, are larger than 6 microns in diameter and are probably not going to be caught in the oil analysis. So what you can do is order the advanced oil filter analysis kit and you send them the whole filter and they can do an analysis on these particles that your filter traps. So thank you guys very much. If you have any questions, send me an email at info@wingmanaviation.net. And if you enjoy this video and you want more content like this, let me know. Till next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.